Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. This video is going to cover the major arcana from the Hermit to the Hanged Man. And it's going to involve the meanings of the cards in context in relation to other cards.
Okay, so the first card it would be the Hermit, and when he appears in a reading, I tend to assume that who I'm reading for is going to experience a time of seclusion or isolation, and they will want to do some soul searching too. Depending on what position it falls in, that could mean, either you should take some time out to think about what you're doing, or, you will experience a time of reflection and soul searching. And as far as, any cards that fall or lie next to it, I could tell if somebody is just starting to go into that phase, depending on if it's lying next to a certain card. Like, for instance, the Four of Swords. If it's next to the Four of Swords, that means that they're taking a rest, getting ready for the making a big decision. And the some other cards that reinforce it would be, like, say, for instance, the High Priestess. Um, but the cards that would mean the opposite of the Hermit, I would say, is like the Two of Cups or the Three of Cups. Those are opposing cards, because they're about togetherness. You're not separate from people. You're not going to isolate yourself. You want to take part in um, in activities with other people. But the Hermit is just more, it's a more of a contemplation time. It's a very philosophical card. You ask the questions of why did something happen? Why are things the way they are? Um, so when I read this, I tend to think that I tend to tell to the person I'm reading for, you're going to experience a time of some isolation, and not jump the gun. Okay. Next card is the Wheel of Fortune, and this is a card about luck, destiny, things that are pretty much out of your control. Um, Whenever I see this card, I tell the person or my client, you're whatever you're feeling. If you're feeling bad about anything, don't. Where you ended up is not your fault. You didn't cause what happened to happen. Uh, it was fate. There was no free will in what's been going on. Um, and then depending on what's next to it, you could find if it was a good fortune, or a bad one. Of course, if it's next to the Ten of Swords, that would mean to say that something came to an end because it was supposed to. Um, the Two of Cups is in the vicinity as well, or the Five of Cups. Maybe a relationship was supposed to end. It had to, for you to grow, for you to develop on your journey. Um, and so, yeah, so that's what the Wheel of Fortune, says to me. And also, it's a profound card to me in the sense that it's usually appears when you have that moment where you see the big picture. You're not just focusing on one little thing, and you're feeling bad about how something turned out, because you're getting a glimpse of how it all ties together. So that would be a good thing. Um, and like I said, depending on, if you read it upright or not, that could tell you if you're happy with the situation as well. But like I said in my previous lecture, I don't tend to read reversals. I don't prefer to read like that. I find it doesn't help because I just go based on what cards are next to what cards are next to each other. Okay. Now, next is Justice, and this is a card of cause and effect, paying for your actions or taking responsibility for what you've done. It comes when things just tend to go on their natural course, and you get what you deserve, essentially. You didn't get away with doing some crime or being unfair to somebody. You're not going to get away with it. That's all that justice really means. It's a pretty simple card. If you've been thinking of what to do, you've been having trouble making a decision, well, the justice in the future is basically saying, don't worry, you'll make your decision, whatever it is, and then the cards next to it could tell you what that decision is. If you see this card and you ask about a relationship, to me personally, that would mean that you're probably going to end it, because you've weighed out the pros and cons, and it's just it's not worth it. You find for whatever reason that it's better to just leave the relationship and find something better. It's a card about, the reason I say it usually means it will end is because it's a very unbiased card. You're not supposed to be biased. That's the whole point of justice. You're supposed to be objective. Anytime I see a card that shows a sword, for instance, like in this card, you see the judge has a sword, or any cards that have swords, like the King of Swords, Queen of Swords. That always that tells me you should be objective in your situation. You have to use your mind more than your heart, because that's the only way to follow the energy of this card. So, but at least try to be fair, because there's some scales there. So whatever decision you make sure that it's fair for everybody involved. And then I'm still going to explain a little bit about reversals, even though I don't do that myself. But like reversals, they if you found the justice card reversed, well, that says, well, you haven't been fair. There's unfairness. There's a lack of fairness and justice going on. But you could tell if it's if it's there or not, just depending on the cards in the vicinity. And that's it. And the last card for today would be the Hangman. Okay, this is a card about sacrifice and doing pretty much the opposite of what you're urged to do. The other day I did a reading for a girl who wanted to know about a decision to make, and she was asking, what should I do? I'm not really sure. I'm trying to make a big decision, and I could tell she was really scared too. I've never met this girl. It was online, but I could just tell, just the feeling I got from her, from her question, that she's afraid. And so I was just helping her out. I did the reading for her, and I got the Hangman to tell her what decision to make. And that automatically told me that if there's an urge, for instance, if she's afraid to make this decision, I'm not gonna say what it was, but it was very scary to her what she wanted to do. She wanted to press charges about something, and she was really afraid. And the Hangman is telling her, yes, I know you're afraid. You don't want to do this. You just want to do the opposite, and just hide. But it's telling her not to. The Hangman is always means the opposite of what you want to do. Like I could explain it with another scenario. For instance, if you you know, your boyfriend broke up with you and you're real sad about it and you have the urge to call him. Well, the hanged man is telling you not to call. Just let it go. And you'll get what you want, amazingly. So people say the hangman is a really hard card to interpret. It's very difficult because it's so mysterious, because it's like a reverse psychology sort of card. But that actually, it doesn't, to me, I don't see it very hard to interpret. I mean, it either means just let go, or, you know, if you know, all you have to do is ask the questioner, is there something that you're dying to do? And if they say yes, then all you have to do, you don't even have to know what they want. You know, all you have to do is tell them, just do the opposite of that. If you're really eager to just, you know, run away and mind your own business and leave, well, it's saying do the opposite, take action. You know, take a stand. This girl had to press charges, and she, you know, she told me that the reading, you know, gave her clarity. I was glad to help her with that. But yeah, so you know, I would say the hangman does mean, it has an element of sacrifice in that sense, and that's why sacrifice is so big with the hangman, because it's not something you want to do. You know, people don't usually like to sacrifice, but that's what's so noble about this card. You know, um, you're trying to transcend you're trying to transcend higher than what you would want in your normal everyday life. You know, there's a form of asceticism to this card. You know, that explains a little ball of light around the, you know, the figure's head. Um, so it's a very spiritual card. Um, and I don't know, people don't usually like to see this card, but yeah, you know, I take it as advice, not something really negative. Just, it's just telling you, you know, if there's something you want to do, just, you know, hold on, don't do it just yet. And just wait, you know, or do the opposite of what you would like to do. So to me, that doesn't, you know, that doesn't seem very hard to interpret, but I don't know, that I always tend to interpret it that way, and it seems to work for me. It gives the questioners I read for, you know, good sound advice. They tend to come back saying that their problems have, you know, been solved or turned out better. But yeah. Okay, and that's it for today. If you have any questions, just drop me an email, and I'll be glad to help. Okay, thanks.